Welcome to my cake kitchen. I am Gladys, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. We are back continuing the decoration of our cake, and bear with me. And today our decorating objectives are simply to split this cake and decorate each individual half into a unique personalized design. Both are going to be transferred onto a cake board somewhere in the fridge over here, just so that we can see what it will eventually settle as. Sincere apologies if you were here yesterday. This wasn't the state we left the cake in at all. The cake was left in a crumb coated state. I had to work through the night because I had some scheduling issues, and if I were to leave it for today, I will be extremely delayed in managing my time. But as always, how to cover a cake to this point is a lot of it is available already on the channel or on in different formats for you to check, so you are not missing out on anything. My hope was to kind of take you through the bake right through the end, but sometimes those intentions, as well meant as they are, cannot always be attainable. So I sincerely apologize for that. That said, there's quite a bit of you in the chat. There is RD in the chat, my lovely. There's Nicola, great to see you. And yeah, lovely to have you back. Obviously, I didn't make a sing-song about coming back here because my day developed quickly. And as I stand here, I realized that I misjudged my time. I should have been somewhere, but we are here now. Let's just do what we need to do. In the meantime, yes, it's one simple cake. This is an 8-inch cake that is, bear with me, I am a little bit, yeah, okay. This is one single 8-inch cake that is serving 2 individuals. This happens when you want, there's a small celebration for 2 individuals who are different, and yet you still want to make sure that each one is served. So this is for a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old, and they have the same group of friends. They do similar things together, and mom just thought, you know what, let me just get them a cake that splits. They have a small group of friends up to about 10 to 15 servings. I don't want to splurge on individual cakes, but I also don't want each person to miss out on their cake, which is why we are here. So with the cake all set, I have managed, with the help of this specific grease-proof circle, which is an 8-inch, managed to create a line. I should say this is the very first time I am making a cake like this, so I am extremely nervous because one little mistake and suddenly the size of the cake is left in question, right? Whilst we're here, right, my sister is asking me a question. Says for the buttercream. Bear with me, please. Sorry, my sister is trying to reach me. So this is the very first time I am making a cake like this, so you want to be extremely careful, because one wrong turn of a hand and you have a cake that is shaped funny, right? So I have, with the help of my knife, I have managed to cut through it. Hopefully I have got this the cake cut nicely in the middle, onto the middle. What we have to do is now separate each side and decorate each side as its own cake. Now that's, oh, okay. Thankfully, this is where the use of buttercream came handy for me. Look, we've got the cake. I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. Oh, and with such a white cake, I have to be extremely careful. Okay. I am very pleased with what I've got here. Right. So we are going to move the cakes from here on to each individual board where we are going to decorate it. Before we do that though, I went ahead and I picked an 8-inch card and I split it into two so that it will serve as the base for each cake. And that is what we are going to do. Like I was saying, this is my first time of making a cake like this. So this is all challenging to me, but I kind of like it. It's such a shame. It is such a shame that it's a chocolate cake, because chocolate can literally go left real quickly, because obviously it's a brown cake. But let's try and focus on the best parts and make it work. Let me move stuff around. And okay. Right. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I am thinking whilst I'm doing this. So let's just get this together and we will all find an answer to. If you're asking, what are you doing? I don't know yet. But we will get an answer in a minute. Bear with me. So what we are trying to do is move each half cake over. What have I done? Can you see? Can you feel my angst? Right. I think what I need to do is put a half okay. Okay. I will tell you what I am doing in a moment. Right now I am having to focus problems. Okay, I'll just lift this. Right, and yes, there we have it. If you were wondering what I was doing, we have to split each cake into a half and then decorate each individual cake. So now each cake has its own cake card at the base, and now the goal will be to cover here nicely so that we have a full half white looking cake on its own, and the other half will be covered as well. The goal is to be able to do this without making a mess. That is the goal. So if you see me kind of like fiddling, wondering what I'm doing, I'm thinking, because we have a white cake and brown bits. That is not good for anybody. Okay, there we have. So naturally, whose idea was this? Was it mine? It wasn't mine, I promise you. It wasn't my idea at all. Yeah, there you go. Right. Okay. All right. So we have the cake now. And what we can do is go ahead and trim bits that needs trimming so that we can get a straight edged cake. If you look closely, you can see the card I put underneath. Let's see what the cake tastes like. Now that is a decadent chocolate cake. I shouldn't be doing that, but I can't help it. Woo! That's a good chocolate cake, even if I say so myself. Okay. Now let's go and crumb coat the inside of this cake. Now we have to work carefully because again we are trying to crumb coat this to seal in the brown bits of the cake to stop it from spreading all around. Sorry, if you're in the chat, Steph Seasons, did I just call you Aunt Steph? How are you, darling? I was lurking on your channel yesterday. What a treasure trove of wisdom you have on there, people. Great to have you, though. There you go. Right. I'm just going to move to the corner here. You know what? My angst about not making a mess is kind of stopping me from making this work. Okay. Right. There you go. Have you ever seen me a little more confused than this has got me looking? Okay. This is the crumb coat bit. Okay. And all we're doing is crumb coating this side. Okay. And we're going to get that and just give this a clean. Okay. I am not going to worry about anything else too much because we'll come back and do a final coat where we will trim the sides and clean around the cake. So that is one half done. I want to be careful so I don't spread the chocolate bits around the cake. Yep. That is just half of it done. We need to go and keep this to chill. Nicola is asking if Seasons has a channel. Yes, she does. She has a treasure trove of old wisdom over there. I was lurking on there yesterday. I hardly have time to sit and watch things, but when I do, I am always pleasantly surprised. So this is one half of the cake, right? Now, who fancies half a cake? Do you want half a cake to eat? Well, I bet you will say yes. We want to go put this away for now. Let's throw this on one side. Now, this is the part I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? I'm doing this all over again. It's so scary because now I've got all the mess. I am so scared. I am so very scared, but not too scared enough to pick some cake pieces. Okay. That is just by the way. Ooh, I'm scared. Can you tell I'm scared? Okay. Again, we have a cake board here first. And right, we're gonna have just a little bit here so it sticks. What I'm probably going to do is cut the corner. Do you see how much work goes into making a small cake that you will think is so easy to put together? I've been at it since what? Since we baked this cake. And I'm stressed. I mean, let's get this done and over with. Now I have half a board card here. I'm transferring this is my headache. Jesus. Okay. Woo. Okay. And then, okay. Say a prayer for me. Say a prayer for me. Say a prayer for me. Can you see? Okay. Okay. There you go. Right. Whew. I can breathe. I can breathe now. Okay. Now we can transfer this all over. And the same thing we did. The only difference is that I've got to make sure I get wet. Okay. Right, that's fine. And then I've got to make sure I get rid of all the brown bits so they don't end. If you're kind of used to just winging things, this is not the kind of cake for you. And I think I am a little more cautious because of also the color of the cake, because it's a white cake and it's a chocolate cake. The colors don't work. Can you tell? My heart is kind of like, my heart feels different right now in my belly. Who said cake making was easy? Okay, now if let's go and cover that little front facing bit. See what we find over there. Ooh. It looks a mess. Okay, now just cover it slowly. Woo. When I get this cake done, I don't want to be bothered by any cake anyway for the rest of the weekend. Huh? Okay, now let's cover this. Nicely. Okay. All right. Okay, there you go. That is sort of relatively covered. Now let's get a scraper. Okay, I'm I'm not going to do anything to it. I'm just going to leave it as this and leave it to set so that I can come back. Whew. I can see seasoning saying something. Now the confusion is I don't know if seasoning is you talking to me or you're having a chat in the you're having a chat in there somewhere. Let me just wash my hands. Let's put this cake away. Let me breathe a bit and then we'll catch up. Yeah, people. Whew. When you people hear me like squealing, it's like, okay. There you go. Okay, so we have our 2 cakes that are now halved. We have a half here, another half here, that are going to be displayed on the cake board. We haven't finished off because now we have to come back and polish all of them properly. But it almost feels like if I was making a cheese sort of style cake, this might just be it. But you know what? Some days, there's a reason why I don't make all types of cake. But we're here now, so let's get to it. I'm going to put these in the bigger fridge just so that they cool quickly so we can get our outcomes done. So just bear with me whilst I put these cakes away. And then when I come back, we'll be talking decorative elements and what plans we have for our cake here. Just stay with me for a minute. I'll be back. Sophie, hi there. Well, thank you for your patience. I am back. What were we doing? Oh, it seemed like a long time ago when I was trying to cut a cake into half and squealing like a little piggy. But the cake is in the fridge now, so do I feel like I'm stressed? A little bit, because these cakes just kind of make me feel a little bit. But if you're in the chat, there is 25 of you registered in there. Here's a polite reminder: if you do like the cake and the outcome we are headed for, plus everything that is going into making this cake, do consider liking the video. Okay, it's a good way to support us and also to let YouTube know that you've had a great experience, or at least you've got some value from us. So please do that to support us if you can. The decorative elements for this cake include a few basic things. They are the same decorative elements, they are just slightly colored different. So we have some decorative items here, and then we have polystyrene balls, as in non-edible balls, in black, green and gold. And we have another one as orange black gold, orange black gold, with the toppers the same as. And we are also going to be making some drip. So there's a black drip here. There's a black drip here that I made, but it has gone to sleep. So we are going to try and melt that back once everything comes back. And then we are going to use the black drip to form a drip on the cake. And then we are going to add our decorative elements. So that is essentially what we will be doing. And I wash my hands, and then we'll get our cake board out. In the meantime, I need to boil my kettle. I need some more warm water. Right, let me Shelly says I liked it. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Where are we? Yep. So this is the final destination of our cake. It is going onto this cake board. And to get this cake board all ready. Oh, thank you, Shelly. Shelly Lake. Shelly Lake says she liked the video and has subscribed to us. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you for being here. We hope more than anything you're getting some value. So what I'm doing is I'm just applying a glue stick here onto the rim of the board, just enough. There's really no rhyme or reason to what I'm doing here. Chef to Real. Thank you, darling. Thank you for being here. Chef to Real says, hello, I know what you're going to make looks delicious. What a beautiful kitchen. God bless you. Jesus loves you. Oh, back to you. I'm sure he loves you so much, which is why you are here spreading positivity and kindness in these dark, hollow streets of YouTube. So same to you, Chef to Real. Okay, thank you for being here, and thank you for your kind word. Right, so I am just running a ribbon over here, and the theme of the board, the color of the board matches the theme of the cake, because it would be rather awkward if I just ended up picking up any random color at all. So over here I have just done this, and what I'm going to add here is a needle in there and another needle in there. It's not going onto the cake, it's just in the board. Okay, it is just to keep these things pinned in. Nobody is eating that, nobody's touching that. That's not going anywhere. And yes, and now that is a polished looking board ready for our cake. New grower, William. Hi, Will. How are you? There you go. We have our cake board all done, but we don't need it just yet. We're going to leave that to the side, and then we are going to go. Did I boil the kettle? We're going to go and check on one of our half cakes. But in the meantime, I'm going to bring our if you are remelting this, you want to make sure you don't burn it because it can crystallize and then begin to burn. So I've just brought it. And then one last thing before we go. we're going to have some warm water sitting here. All of these have to be prepped before the cake gets here. And then we are also bringing out the ganache. We don't want to melt our ganache too much. So that's white colored ganache. I'm just going to go and get half cake back here. Here we are. Our half cake is back. And here comes the stress again. Here comes the stress again, but we are going to persevere. We will just do all right, okay? Who believes this is going to be a fun project? Who thinks so? So first we're going to try and trim the awkward bits on the cake that is likely going to hinder our decorating of the cake, so that we can get sharp, clean lines. Okay, there you go. All right. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to give you a proper view of what is happening here. And then over here, just sliding this down. There you go. So practically, you can see we have a clean cake to work with now. Now we are going to just apply. This is the final coating of the cake, which is the final layer of colored white chocolate ganache to kind of now seal in all the brown parts, so that we can have a cleaner, polished look onto our cake. I think I should have gotten myself this smaller. Okay, let's wash this. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to create the bottom. Okay. And spread. Okay. Okay. If you've never tried to cover half a cake, you will not know what real strife is. There you go. We've got all of that sorted. Now that's a stainless steel scraper dipped in hot water. Scrape to the end, lift, clean it out. Okay. I'm gonna try that again with hot water. Again. Okay. All done. We have bits on the top, so I'm going to cover the top and then clean it out here. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to try and do that again. For here, thank you. If I'm not saying anything, I'm not ignoring you at all. It's just because this right here is stressing me out. It's a lot. Right, there you go. Right, we've done that. Now we're going to go around and sort this half a cake out. Can you see how clean our cake looks? Right? So, okay. Right, now let's cover the top bits. Yeah. There you go. Oh, there you go. Only God knows what I'm thinking whilst I'm doing this, but we are getting there. Right, okay, so let's start again. It starts here, cleanly scraping easily, and then you lift. There you go. I think I've got that wholesome clean over there. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything to ruin it. I think I've got a wholesome polished half a cake. Hi Anthony. Hi Anthony. Right, so what do you think? If you can see, is this polished enough? I don't want to do anything to it. We have half a cake. If we leave this to chill, we have a full set cake, and then we can transfer it onto the board, and then we can clean it up. Okay, that's what I'm aiming to do. I'm not trying to do anything else. I'll leave it as this so that it goes back to chill, and then we will be working on the next one. Yep. Shelley and Season say it's perfect. Some days in decorating, you've got to know when to stop. And I think I'm gonna have to stop here. Okay, people, let's bear with me. Whew. Yeah, sometimes you've just got to know. Well, what you're hearing is the beep of a camera. Okay, so we've got half a cake. Let's go put it in the fridge to chill, and then let's work on the other half, because that's how this is going to roll. God. Like, whose idea was this? Well, we are aiming for another round of perfection on this one. We're aiming for another round of perfection on this one. So before we start on that, let me just make sure I can see you. Well, Tours. Well, Tours, thank you. Thank you. Oh, Well, Tours is in the chat and says, all the best with your kitchen work. Thank you, Well Tours. Are you touring the world right here on YouTube streets? Right. Okay. So let's get our ganache quantity together. Whew. People, can you tell I'm stressed? It doesn't look like it, but I am, because this cake has me feeling all kinds of ways. Well, since cake making. Okay, so first of all, let's try and clean the top for a sharp edge. Seasons. I think I'm gonna have to stop calling you Seasons and call you Steph. Do you mind? Steph. Those of you who don't know Steph, Steph is Seasons. She has a channel on here. You can go check her out for homestead, life advice, and all things in between. Yeah? Right. There you go. Emilia. Oh, Season. Oh. You know what? Sometimes the mental switch of doing one thing for a long time. I've called you Seasons for all this time, and now suddenly I want to switch and my brain is confused. Okay, but we'll start. If you find me glitching about it, it's okay. We'll get back on the road. Emilia says, I love your accent. Thank you, Emilia. Right. Right. Okay. If you're wondering why we have half a cake, it's because it's a whole cake that is being decorated half and half. So Lollipop. Lollipop, welcome to the house. Where have you been? We haven't seen you in the village for a day. I'm laughing because oh, Lollipop has had an eventful day. Oh, Lollipop darling, good to see you. How are you, my lovely? Why am I laughing? Lollipop, I'm just being mischievous, okay? Take no notice of me and my mischief making. Okay, there you go. When you people hear me squealing, the stress is real. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. I think I've got my other half here, literally. Well, my other half is a cake. What do you think? Do we I don't I mean, I might tell you I don't want it to be perfect, but who wouldn't? Maybe. So, Lollipop, after swearing you weren't going to be doing any shopping, well, I think the question I want to ask, did you go shopping hungry this time? Because it makes a difference to your balance. It makes a real difference to the balance you come home with, and of course to the shopping basket. Okay, there you go. I think I've got what I need. I'm not going to be fussing about it. What do you think? Do we have a perfect half a cake? I can see a part that is annoying me. There you have it there. Okay. Right. There's a little thing here. I'm not going to worry too much about it, because if I start fussing about those small details, I might just... Right. So what do you think? Are we done? Are we done? Do you think we've got another perfect other half? What do you think? Let's see what you have to say, because you know what? I live for what you have to say over here. Let's get the worktop all white clean. It looks good. Thank you. Right. Okay. There you go. Half a cake, half a cake, half a cake. Oh, shoot. There is 62 freaking people out here. Like, where have you come from? Where have you all come from, people? And I mean, if you're just stopping by, I can understand, okay? But if you're going to be staying with me for a little while, happy Friday. Happy Friday. I am sorry I can't entertain you as much as I normally do, because this cake, it has me stressed out here. Let's go put this in the cold place, come back and see if we can start working to move this cake onto our... Wow. Okay, that won't be bad to transfer actually. Okay, I'm feeling a little more confident now, glad. Did I say that out loud? Okay. Right. Let's get this on the way. Okay. Right. Don't worry. Take no notice of me. I'm going to be all right. 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 We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right, glad. We're going to be all right. There's always that cake that has you like going, there you go, there you go, there you go. Half a cake. Let's go put it in the fridge and then come back and do some more work. Yeah? Whew. Okay, here is the other house. Okay, now let's go and try and get the top a little clean. 1 second. Okay, I think this is cleaner. It's set. Okay, let's see if we can just clean the top. Okay. Okay, I'm just cleaning the top. And okay. Okay, so just scrape. Okay. Okay, just a little bit more. And scrape. Yep, got it. With what okay. That is all done now. And all I want to do is tidy all of these bits out. And perhaps do it when I transfer it. Okay. Woo. People, can you tell I am not in any headspace to entertain out here today? Right. So this is the moment of truth. Right. Let's see. The back of the board is where the pin is. So if the cake is facing this way, this will be the back. And I want you to see what I'm doing. I don't know if you can see my work surface. So we are going to position the cake half and half so that it looks open. What I have done is I have placed the board underneath, which means I can, okay. All right, there you go. Moment of truth, moment of truth, moment. Okay. Woo. Not done yet, not done yet, not done yet. Gonna have, yeah. Okay, 1 second. Let's get a towel, clean the water. It's sprinkled on the fondant top because that is not a good look. Right. Okay, and then I'm going to try and move this to the side and then give it as much space as I can because the other half will go that way. Right, so there's only when the other half comes in that I'm sure I can be able to adjust the look of the cake. But we're not done. I'll have to come back and repolish this all over again. So we have spots here. But, what is the decor going to be? Nicola, I will answer you in a minute. I spoke about the decorative elements, but I guess I will show you, right? Just bear with me. So this is one half here. Let's go get the other half so that we can position the cake. I feel like my heart rate has gone up twice as much. Okay, so the other half is still like sort of here-ish, right? I'm now going to have to adjust the cakes. Okay, so as you can see, it's an 8-inch cake, but we've split it. So now what we're going to do is clean it up and then start the decoration. Just feel like one is not positioned right, and then yeah, okay, all right, yep. Okay, I kind of feel like I've got it. Okay. When I was baking, I didn't like anybody talking to me because I was all over the place mentally. Like, give me a minute. I'm glad somebody can relate to my madness here. Mayan Sims, thank you for sharing that. I'm glad somebody can relate. But you know what? I am more frustrated, not because I think the community is generally very supportive and kind of understand, because they know I like to talk to you guys. But I'm more frustrated not because anybody expects me to talk to them, but it's more because I like to do the talking also, just so that I can engage with you. I mean, if you're a cake maker and you're just in the chat, you will know how hard this is, right? But if you don't bake cakes and you've just landed on the channel, you're like, hello, and I'm not responding, and it's like, oh, she's ignoring us, right? So that's different. But yes, thanks for sharing that. So now we are going to polish this off and get all the bits up. So yep, my luck. Okay, now let's clean the brown bits. The brown bits. Oh, yep. Okay, there you go. Okay, let's clean the brown bits. Okay, and then can anybody feel I'm stressed? When I say I'm stressed, I'm not stressed because I feel like I can't do what I'm doing. I'm stressed because I'm juggling a lot of things mentally. It's a lot. So I am boiling some water so I can reset my tools. Bear with me. Between trying to get like my utensils and tools clean and doing what I have to do, whew, my head hurts. Thank you, lovely. There are some good people on here, you know. She's like, take a break and deep breath, honey. Thank you. It is always nice to find someone who understands your plight. So what am I doing? I'm trying to seal the back of the cake. So that it will look seamless instead of split. and then we're going to try and seal the base too, and then clean it all out so that the cake looks like it's whole. Okay. Okay. Now I am going to, this is the part where you can have, yep, there you go. Now this is dipped in warm water. I have just wiped it clean, so it should help give me a clean scrape around the cake. Yep, we've got much of it out. I'm gonna try again. I have the Lucy Lou scrapers, the fine ones. I just don't know where they are this minute, and I don't have the luxury of time to seek them out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Lucy Lou scrapers are the small fine ones that will help you get like a fine polish to your cake. Yep. Okay. So the back is sort of polished. I love these sessions, but there are moments that makes me question why I do them. I love them because you get to see the raw moments of the cake decorating process unfiltered, which in itself is a lesson. But then some days I am left wondering, why do I put myself through that stress? Let me just, okay, there you go. Okay, we've got the back of the cake all polished. Now I'm going to work on the bottom, the side here. If you love to watch someone suffer, welcome to the stream. I am suffering for your pleasure, okay? Okay, the inside is done now, and I'm just going to finish the outside. One last scrape. There you go. Yep. One half of the inside is done. Except the other half is a left hand sort of scrape, and I'm not left-handed. It's going to be awkward. Can you see? Okay, let's see. Okay, can you see what I mean? This is just awkward for me. Okay. It's not working because I'm like, can you see my trouble? Because I'm right-handed, and I have to kind of scrape the left-hand side of the cake. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, I did it. Not as cleanly as I wanted it though. Okay, maybe I just need to let it go and not obsess about perfection here. Okay, there you go. Right. And with that, I think much of it is done now. A wise person says the skill of cake decorating, the best skill is to know when to stop. And I think this is where I stop. That's not good, is it? Whew. This is where I stop. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Okay, so let's just get the top all cleaned out. Girl, what are you doing? Okay, there you go. Oh, the nervous laugh. Right. Okay. 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 All right. Did I say I have left it alone? I think I said so. Before I noticed something else. I think that's it. Right, what do you think? Are we done? Should we continue? Okay. Are we done? What do you think? I think there are bits I want to polish off, but I am also scared I might just ruin it. Dolly is asking, is it ganache or American buttercream? It's ganache, my love. It is white chocolate, white ganache. Okay, there you go. There is something else I'm looking for. If I find it, it will work for me. If I don't find it, but I'm going to try and see if I can find it. People, just bear with me. I won't tell you what I'm looking for yet, just in case I don't find it. But if I find it, I'll tell you. That's the trouble with owning a small kitchen. Whew. Yay! I have found what I was looking for. This. Remember I was saying the Lucy Lou scrapers. Yep. They are very small, tiny. Yeah. Darling, that looks pure white. Yes. Because I made it white. Because I needed it for a white cake, darling. So, okay, so the reason why, yeah, so with the Lucy Lou small scraper, you can get into the finer details. Okay. Okay. Right. Mayan says, oh, you need some. Yeah, the Lucy Lou small scrapers, they are amazing. They're expensive though. You know, I'm not complaining because for what they do, you can't really put value on it, to be honest, because they kind of help you get into the crevices and small detail for your polished look. But £22 for these small silver things, like, I am not so sure. Yeah, but yeah, they do the work. And let me just move this out of the way. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Dolly says they're expensive. She got hers on a bundle sale for £45. Yeah, I mean, you can never put money on the price of value, but hey, £22, that is really expensive. The day I bought it out of necessity and it served me well, but yes, because I couldn't get the detail I want right now if I didn't have these. So some days you win some and then some days you lose some. Because this is likely going to get you a lot more fine details than a bigger one will do. You know what? The cake is going to have a drip. I'm not going to bore myself with it. We are done here. Okay. Have we got the detail? Have we got our cake right? Yep. There you go. So that is our cake, half and half, or sort of looking like it's split into two, but there's a seamless look to it over there. And essentially it is going to be a drip cake. So let's go and warm up the drip again so that we can get a better consistency. I should be careful because I don't want to warm it too much. Yeah, this is the consistency of drip we have. Right now I'm about to break one of the rules of drips, which is that you only drip the cake when it's chill. I don't know what the state of this is, so I'm going to try. If it gets tricky, I'm going to leave it. Okay, the consistency is good, right? And there you go. Right, I like a lot more controlled drip. So a single drip, one gets a drip on the inside, one gets the drip on the outside, just so that there's some contrast. Okay, so this is what we've got. I've ended up dripping stuff over there. I will leave it as that. I won't fuss too much about it. It will work. Right, there we go. So a simple black drip just to give it contrast. So there's a drip on the outside, one on the inside, just to kind of bring balance, because I didn't want the drip to go all the way around the cake. Because I used what do you call it, I never use anything else besides candy melt for my drips, because I'm like I'm not about to fight with the drip out here. There you go. So there you have it. The sprinkle on the top is okay. I kind of feel like I could have done with some piping detail, but I don't want to do that just yet, because we're going to add the decorative details and then we will decide, because this is the sort of cake where you can make it up as you go along. So the decorative details, we have one side is orange and black and gold. First of all, let's see, that is the 10. Right, I'm going to move out of shot just so that I can give you an angle of view for what we are doing here. Right, that's a bike rider here. That's a bike rider here. And that's, I don't know if I should split this card detail or leave it on the inside. I will miss it. I'm not so sure where to put this detail. Should it just be at the entrance here? What do you think? This is left open for now. So let's make what we have work. Go. We have, right, some gold. I'm just going to, we have some black. I am not sure where. If you have any suggestions, on where you want the decorations to go, leave them in the chat. Okay. And then we still have, where do we put this? Should we stick it somewhere here? I don't know. I have no idea where this is going yet. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I'm going to have to decide where that goes. If you have any suggestions, put them in the chat. Let's see. Right. Okay. And then the other one is a black and green. Okay. So we have a green themed. It doesn't match. Addy and friends. Yeah, that's fine. They're two different cakes. They are not supposed to match, okay? Right. For my decorator friends in the chat, Mayam and the rest of you, I am really struggling with where to stick the, okay. Ultimately, we could also put one here, but I kind of feel like it's going to be missing the jewel at 11. We could stick it here, okay? All right. But it's missing, isn't it? And then Jaden's might just go this way. So we have one here. I mean, it is a busy cake, but at least it's two different people, so I can't complain. Sometimes when, right? Let's see. There you go. And then we have okay. There you go. Okay. Okay. So there is one here. There's one there. And then there you have it. That's the trouble with some of these cakes. It's a very busy cake for my liking, but it's not my cake, is it? So I guess I can live with. There you go. Okay, Mayim says, okay, I like it. Okay, you know what? If you like it, I love it. It is a bit busy for me, though, as a cake maker. This is for one of my favorite people. And some days I would just bite the bullet and make a cake, even if I personally don't like it, right? And as a cake maker, this is not my style of cake making at all. I like clean, polished looking cakes for myself. Aesthetically, those are more pleasing for me. But I also get that this is not for me and it's not even about me. But if a customer came to me and wanted this cake, I wouldn't make it. If they sent me a message that this is the cake they wanted from me, I turn down these orders all the time because I personally don't like making them because they're too busy. And I guess when I say that, hear my heart when I say, I know that comes from a place of privilege because I get to choose the work I want to make and I love it that way. However, it's not a terrible cake. For me, it's just visually too busy. It's too busy. It's got card elements. There's an element of unpolished about it. Not because it's unpolished, but compared to some of my cakes. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you go on my website, you will see I have, as a cake maker, there's a certain style of cakes that I love to make. But when I do get these ones, these are the opportunities for all of us to learn. So now you're getting a real first-hand view of what I feel about certain cakes. And whilst everybody might say, oh, this is still a great cake, which I believe it is not my kind of cake. And that is still fine. That is fine. But it's okay nonetheless. It's perfect for two young boys. Yeah, for a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old. I think dear mom said they have the same group of friends. They are up to about 15 people. This cake will serve up to 24, right? So mom didn't want to splurge on two different cakes. but she just wanted the cakes to be as reasonably polished as possible and split for both boys. And this is what we've got. I'm not mad about it at all. I think it's turned out great. You know, there's simplicity about it, which I love, but it's, again, it's not my kind of cake at all. Just want to add some dotted green bits to it. This is the part where you like quit whilst I'm ahead, right? Dolly says, I love it. Dolly, thank you. It's okay. Cake makers, we can be our own worst critics sometimes. Okay, that's it. We are not doing anything more. We are not doing anything more. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. You know, they get to take away everything else. And yeah, there you go. Whew. Okay. Lollipop says, I think it might need a bit more drip on the side, on the green side. Is it this side? In the chat, let's hear your thoughts. Do you think we should drip it all round? Should we drip it all round? Because I left the green side bare, just so that there is like, it's not too cluttered, because I dripped this part and then dripped the inner side and left this inner drip side and then left this side. Should we drip the entire cake or leave it as is? Okay, Mayan says yes. Okay, look, I'm going for the drip. Let me warm the drip up and then we can add it. Look, you people are helping kind of put this together, so let's make it work. Okay, now let's not over melt the drip over here. Okay, now. Yes, we can drip the green. Oh, okay. So everybody, see, sometimes it's good to consult the village, you know. I love this for me. That I don't, God, glad, don't go making a mess. Right. I'm just mixing the drip. Okay, now I'm going to get myself a different spoon. Okay. And I'm turning to the green side. I'm off screen just so that you can see what I'm about to do. So let's try and see if we can drip this. Okay. I think I've just... Okay. Okay, so we have the drip all the way around the cake. And okay, so you people are right. It kind of gives it a fuller look. Okay, there you go. And then it's all like dripped over here. Are we okay? Much better. Dolly says, wow, that's it. Okay, we are done, people. We are done. Thank you. I love this for me, because then I don't only have to exercise my brain, I utilize yours too. Less the stress for me. Right. So yeah, that's Jaden and Joel's cake. There you go. Now we need to go photograph this cake, get it all set up. And yay, that's the cake done. What do we think? Oh God, I can't believe we baked a cake. It's good to step away. Thank you. I kind of feel like I've got like a cake fairy godmother kind of guiding me through and being like, it's all right now, Glad. It's all right now. Now you can step away. You know, the best part of decorating is kind of like knowing when to stop. And the funny thing is, you would think that when you are exhausted and it's all done, okay, you will stop. No, when you are exhausted and stressed, you end up doing the opposite because you're adding more and you don't know when to stop, then you ruin the thing. So yeah, I'm not doing anymore. I'm done. I'm done. Because you know what? My stupid little brain is telling me, shall we add some piping detail over here? Like, no, it's going to be too busy. Okay? It is going to be too busy. It will take away from because the balls are too colorful, you know? And it's a boy's cake. There's got to be a rustic element to it. So no, I'm not going to do nothing. Gladys, stop already. Okay? Lollipop says, no, it doesn't need it. I am glad you people, I'm glad you all have strong opinions on when to stop. Because I have ruined the cake by not knowing when to stop. Okay? It's perfect. Okay, there we have it. There we have it. The cake is done. Oh, I love this. For some reason, I couldn't see it come together. I couldn't, because sometimes you can't see it. But now I can with the drip. I can. Okay, this is lovely. Mayan, where is your bakery located? We all want to come there. Are you still baking? Oh. Now let me see. Okay. Now that's okay. Mana, Texas. Oh, okay. So, Mayim, you run a bakery. Oh, that's fantastic. Is it busy? The idea of a bakery is fun, but oh, it makes my heart like the stress you've seen me exert over here. If I had a bakery, it would be times 10. How is it over there? Oh, mine has had back surgery and hasn't baked for a while. So sorry to hear, darling. I hope you are better. You're feeling better and things are looking up for you. Are you going to go back to baking as soon as you feel better and up to it? You're a home baker. Look, whether you're baking in a bakery or even baking at home in your small bakery, it's still the same. Well, this one is exponentially higher, but it's still as equally stressful. Doesn't matter, does it? Let me just turn this thing off. Oh, Mayim says, I miss it so much, darling. I hope you go back to it sometime shortly, okay? There can be a lot, but yes, I hope you go back to it shortly. Now, oh, I love my cake. You know what? I couldn't see it. It was like, it was a lot, but now I can see it and I'm excited. I can't stop spinning it. Right? Okay. If you're just coming into the chat, this is what we did. The start of the cake till what we have here is all up on the channel for you to see, except for when we were covering the cake in the white ganache. Dolly, is Dolly still in the chat with us? Dolly? Okay, there you go. Yeah, Dolly, you were quite surprised about the white ganache. Why is that? Because it's I'm sure you would have had I use the ingenious edibles, but I bought myself the bigger tub. Where is it? Yeah, here. There. So yeah, so it's regular ganache that I made, and then I added this to it. The thing, most people will tell you that add this, but if you made just regular ganache and you added this, it will thin the consistency a little bit, which means the ganache, because this has glycerol in it, and it means your ganache sets, but it doesn't set solid, right? So it will set fine, but even after 24 hours, when you go touch the cake, you can have you can feel, you won't leave dents or marks on it, but you can almost feel like the surface is sort of not set completely, because if ganache doesn't have anything in it and you have the consistency or the ratios of chocolate to cream right, when it sets in the fridge, it sets solid. When you touch it, it's like solid and dry. Whereas this is almost like there's like some moisture to it, if you like. I don't know how to explain it. So that is something to be wary about, especially when you're scraping around it. But with that said, it's still like a great product. So it's just regular ganache, like 900 grams to 300 mils of cream. Just melted it in the microwave, whipped it together. A touch of salt, 50 mils of corn syrup, just so that it can bind. And then I added that. So if you're wondering what made the white, it's the ingenious edibles. And you don't, yeah, the problem is that to get the ganache to look like blindingly white, you literally, I think for the quantity I've just mentioned, I used about 100 mils of this. The first was about 58 mils, because I was measuring it for the purposes of accuracy. Normally I just pour, right? I don't measure it, but I just wanted to measure it just in case someone asked me a question about it, I can answer. And by the way, the 900 grams that I just mentioned for chocolate, I throw in an extra 100 just to kind of balance things out a little bit, because another 100 mils of this and corn syrup, which should help with emulsification, sort of will affect the consistency. So let's just say for my ganache, the ganache for this cake, you're looking at a whole kilo, as in a whole kilo of chocolate. And it's surprisingly Aldi brand of chocolate. I was just testing something out. So did I say no? Yeah, Aldi. Normally I use Fincari from Lidl, right? The with the yellow pack and the red mark. It's called Fincari. It's a French brand. I get it from Lidl. It's, I think, £1.89 for a pack of 100. But I just wanted to try something new. I was testing out some recipes, so I thought, let me pick the Aldi brand, which is, I think, about £89 per 100 grams. And here we are. So yeah, you can try that and see what that looks like. But yes, Olivia Mueller, I'm scared of black people. Olivia, do you mind explaining that a little bit? I don't want to judge you. I want to give you a chance to hear what you mean by that, because for all you know, there might be some genuine intention behind why you're saying that in a public forum. And I'm just curious to understand why you would say that. Right. So, Dolly says, I have tried all the shop brands. I prefer Molly from... You know what? It's neither here nor there. Whatever brand works for you, stick with it. Because you know what? Let me just unpack a secret for you. The only time a brand of chocolate will matter is when you're dealing with dark chocolate. because it contains cocoa beans, as in real cocoa. If you're buying dark chocolate, sometimes depending on the quality and taste, it matters where you are sourcing it from. White chocolate doesn't actually have cocoa. It's cocoa butter, milk powder, and sugar. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you're picking it from. The main ingredients are the same. And I actually come to find that the Aldi and Lidl brands do actually have cocoa butter. Whereas if you look at other brands, check and see if the fat or the butter content is replaced by vegetable fat. Okay, that's just a small detail. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. So if the Molly from Tesco is the one that works for you, stick with it. Are you, since your ganache class, are you getting the results you actually wanted? Maya is like Lollipop is like, Lollipop is like, what the fuck is happening here? I can almost hear, like, Lollipop, you haven't had a lot of luck with people lately, have you? They have had you like swearing all sorts. Yep, see. So yeah, the only time, like, that is why you should be interested in learning new things even as a baker. Because what you don't know, you will pay expensively for. Okay, what you don't know. And I'm just putting you onto it. That white chocolate, okay? If it comes to white chocolate, I do not care what brands there are. It's still the same thing. It is cocoa butter, it is still sugar, and it's milk powder. Trail Robin, does cocoa butter really work for skin tone? Trail, we are not estheticians here, okay? We're not. We make cakes. And I certainly don't rub the cocoa butter I use for cake on my skin, so I couldn't tell you. Dolly says yes, because I was asking Dolly, has the ganache, she took a ganache class and she was open and she came and she told us all about it. And the class has boosted her confidence to be able to make her own ganache, which she is loving. Amazing. Here to support those efforts for you. Here's a question though. Here's a question for you, just on top of my head. Why? I guess you paid for the class to learn to make ganache. What is it about the ganache that you learned in class that has caused you to create your own? Is it because of the technique was too much and you kind of felt like you can simplify it? Is it ingredients? What is it? I'm just curious to know what has inspired you having to create your own technique for it. Mayan says, with my treat, I use half candy melt and half almond bark. I mean, if you stick around for long, Mayan, thank you for sharing that. We love to hear tips. You know what? We don't gatekeep over here, okay? We don't gatekeep over here at all. The only time I gatekeep is when something is too complex to explain in a sitting, because then I don't want you to go away with the incomplete information. So for instance, we are talking ganache. The subject of my ganache has been, people have asked me how I make my ganache, and I actually have a video on here about how I make my ganache. This is from 4 years ago. It's not a great quality video because that was when I just started. I didn't know how to edit, and the information is still like, you know, the quality is not great, but the information is still the same and it's solid. Except as the years have gone by and I have tweaked the process and kind of worked things differently, I realized that ganache... Okay, let me move this cake out of my face and I'll talk to you. Right. So, for instance, the only time that I am unable to answer a question like openly is when it comes to my ganache, because from my own experience, I've come to find that ganache is a very, very complex subject. Okay, it sounds so simple, but it's also so complex because not only are there different types of ganache, like ganache for filling cakes, ganache for drip, and ganache for covering cakes. There are also the different types of ganache, all these different types made from the different types of chocolates types that you have on the market, from dark milk to white chocolate. It's all different. So I realized simply that my white chocolate ganache, even though it's one specific recipe and it's very simple, believe me when I say it is still the white chocolate, it's generally a 3-to-1 ratio. But as time has gone on, I have had to tweak it to suit different purposes. For instance, on a sunny day, the cake makers will tell you raise your ganache ratio to 4-to-1, which is for every 400 grams, you have 100 mils of cream. Now, I will tell you for a fact that in my experience, that doesn't work because that will freeze solid. It will leave your cake feeling so hard with very unpolished looking bits. And actually the ganache itself is prone to seizing and breaking the emulsion if you don't get that consistency right. So when I'm asked about my ganache recipe, there are like small little nuances to it. And I've actually considered about making a video on it, but I also realized that the video has to cover all the different aspects. In fact, the simple thing is, if I made ganache video, it will have to be an entire series covering how I make specific ganache in different forms, to how I fix ganache issues and all the things in between. So because it's such a huge subject for me and I want people to get the best out of it, I thought it is going to cost me extra resource to kind of sit there and film all of this in parts just to impart the information. So should I sort of make it into a series where you can actually sign up and buy it? You know, that's something. And that is because it is costing me extra resource in time. Or should I find the time out of my schedule and create it as a video? And I'm kind of back and forth about it because I'm already on here nearly 4 days a week, plus shorts, plus baking customer cakes. My time is already taken. So that's the thing that stands out when I think about ganache. But I really hope that at some point I'll come back and give you value on the subject, because it doesn't make sense that ganache is my medium for covering cakes a lot, and it is the one thing that I probably haven't spoken about a lot. So hopefully stick around and you will see that in the future. Shelly Lake says maybe a video with the Aldi one. Yeah, I could do. That would be amazing. Right. So I was asking Dolly what made her kind of set her own ganache recipe and technique, and she says the techniques and the ratio she used in class. So she wanted to change it and she used it to see how it will work, and she tweaked it to suit her. Great for you. Congratulations. You know, the good thing about learning something is also finding how that new thing you've learned works for you. And if this works for you, great. I'm so happy to hear that. Lollipop. Yeah, Lollipop says maybe you can write them in chapters and sell them. You know what, Lollipop? That sounds like a great idea. And I've thought about it. But you know what? I am not a paper person learner. And I just think it would be a disservice to all of you if I did that. Even though it's still easy and accessible, I kind of feel like that has never been my style of teaching. All the information I've given you here, you can find on video. So if I want to actually get into a specific video that matters to me, it might as well just be video, because in video, you get to see exactly what is happening and you get to have an understanding of it, which is different from when you just write it down. So yes, I have considered compiling it in a PDF format and what do you call it? A digital product, but I'm also not in a rush for it. To be honest, there are enough ganache tutorials online, and if anyone was desperate for it, I'm sure they will find and have access to any of the many ganache resources on the platform in whatever form. The only difference is that you get to see me use mine on here, and it would just make sense for you to have the exact same thing with the information. Do you see what I mean? Maybe I'm in my head a lot, but I think I have, as far as we've come, I feel I have stuck to my value proposition, which is that as best as I can. And this is not a moral thing. It is just, in want of a better, it's a business thing. Give the customer the value. People will pay for exactly what you give them if it is serving their need. And I really feel like it would be a complete disservice to just put something on paper because it serves my convenience rather than giving you the value in the detail. Do you see what I mean? So yeah, it would just make sense to kind of make it into a video form instead of writing it down. Dolly says, and I think Dolly is adding, Dolly says, I think it's a lot to learn. Yep, ganache in one day, and it's too expensive. But as I practice more and more, I get new techniques too. And I think that is the same. Dolly, thanks for sharing that. That is the same with most things. That is the same with most things. If you go to it, say, if I held a cake decorating class and you showed up in class, would you be the best decorator in a day? No. But what you will be doing is that you will be taking the techniques I teach you, and then you will go and you practice and you practice and you practice and you practice, and then you get better. Okay, so you practice, progress happens, progress little by, and then before you see, there you are, you know. But look, as long as I keep showing up here, we will continue delivering you as much value. Okay, whether I'm showing up here like on a live, or I'm showing up in long form, or I'm showing up in shorts, there is always value for you to take with you. Shelley says, I did my first dark chocolate, but used 75% lint and had to add icing sugar for sweetness. No, Shelley, the moment you delve into anything over 70%, you are going to have difficulty. Not only difficulty with the emulsification, but also you're going to have difficulty with the bitterness. I mean, while 75% cocoa is really like good, as in good quality chocolate bar, it's really unnecessary, especially if you're using it for a cake. It's not. Stick between the 50 to 70% mark. I mean, the closest you are to 50, not less than 50. Anything less than 50 is just not great. You're looking at milk chocolate and what have you. But anything over 50, 55, thereabout. Once you cross past 50 to 70, stay there. But you cross over 70, you're going to have problems with how the chocolate sets and the ratio of cream to it. It just gets a little bit too much. I don't like that. Lollipop, do drips. Yes, drips work on fondant, but it depends on what you're using for the drip. For instance, if you're using candy melt will work on anything. Candy melt will work on anything at all, right? But if you're using a drip that doesn't set solid like candy melt, it can leave your fondant work tacky. But the simple answer is yes, you can have drips on fondant. Mayan says, practice makes perfect. Mayan, we don't live by that maxim over here. We live by practice makes progress. You keep making progress, and continuous progress will eventually yield you perfection. But perfection is overrated. Just build competence, which will inspire your confidence in what you're doing, and perfection will be your point of view. Okay, what all of you think this cake is great. I may have issues about it because it's not to my standard. So we live by practice makes progress. Shelley says, yes. Oh, I agree. You are easy to follow and I enjoy your content. Thank you, darling. Thank you. I appreciate your support and you being here. And Dolly says, you are my perfect tutor and all the wedding cakes I make this year. The bride picked it up today. I delivered one today and a bride came over. Oh dear. You know what, Dolly? Thank you. It's a lot of pressure, but thank you. Yeah. Thank you all so much for your kind words. You know what? Maybe I should add, I am the tutor I was looking for on YouTube. Okay? I aspire to be the tutor I was looking for. Because before I came to make videos, I love YouTube, okay? I'm not going to make a secret. I love YouTube. I don't watch TV. I said that to you yesterday. Okay, let's move on. There was a really dark force in the chat. But we're just going to ignore that to the side, right? Yeah. Let's not even validate it, people. Let's just look and be like, straight ahead, keep it going. Like, seriously, I like Mayan, I can feel the WTF, like, really? But that's just by the way. We're not going to give it a breathing space. Let it go. But anyway, I was saying, before I came onto YouTube, right? I've loved YouTube for a long time. Very, very long time. Long before I came to YouTube. So by the time I came to deciding that I want to make videos about cakes on YouTube, I had almost identified a gap on the market on YouTube that I felt I could fill in, which is that, first of all, the subject of self-taught bakers and people who have been to pastry school, there still remains a sort of discourse about which one or which category is more proficient and should own the authority to discuss cakes, right? That was one thing. And then there were the sort of advanced stroke professional people who felt like their knowledge had to be protected. So they will give you the tips, but much of what you need, you had to almost pay for, which is fine. I am never against anyone who wants to kind of monetize their skill, because why shouldn't they, right? But I have had the raw experience of when I really used to feel passionate about wanting to bake the cake, but I wasn't resourced monetarily enough to kind of pay for a course or a class, right? Eventually, I did make the investment and I had my 14-week intense class with my tutor who was giving and so kind. And all the cake classes I took in my first couple of years of training, the tutors gave more than I could have afforded to pay for. I mean, I will say cake makers are some of the kindest people in terms of their skill and how much they share. And what I do now is a way of trying to pay it forward too. So the lives, as much as they are like for fun and we laugh, the real intention about the lives are to serve as a learning resource where you get to see the raw decorating process. Because if I could create the videos in long form, not only do they take a long time to make, anyway, long form videos take me, because I'm not an editor, they take up to about 30 hours per video. 30 hours, that's a whole week's work, right? So in terms of value proposition and output, it's a lot. But it also takes a lot out of me if I create a long form video, because to keep your attention on long form, I have to kind of keep the pace. And by trying to pace the video and keep the video still informative, I am dancing between keeping your attention and still providing you value, which is still important. And by doing so, sometimes you sacrifice small details, because you've seen me make this cake from start to finish on here. So you can come, if you took away the chatty bits, you can sit and watch this entire video over 3 days and see how I baked the cake, to how I made it, to how we got here. I couldn't have done that in long form. I can't keep your attention. It will be too long. You probably won't care. So it's neither here nor there, but their lives, let's not forget the fact that their lives, whilst they have grown to become a form of interaction and value and fun for us, because you guys have been so supportive and so engaging. The real value in their lives are the live resource, where you get to see the raw decorating processes. Those are specifically for anyone who really wants to bake or decorate and cannot afford it. So much so that when you land on the video, you're like, okay, I can sit through this and I can take notes and I can go and try my hands at baking or decorating. Mayam says, I'm self-taught and make everything from scratch except for cupcake, because most of my customers order 3 dozen times. 3+ dozen times is an issue. Oh, you're a working mom. You know what? It's neither here nor there. Baking from scratch is great. I love baking from scratch simply because I love the science of baking. If I could really, and when I've tried box baking just to test for, I haven't, the texture and feel of the cake hasn't been so appealing to me. I am just particular about my food choices and preferences, and box bakes don't yield what I really want. So because of that, I stick to baking from scratch. Also because I love the science and experimenting the recipe and adapting things, because I love that. But the conversation about whether people should be baking from scratch or buying box mixes is not one that I engage in, because one is not better than the other. One is not superior than the other. It's a case of preference, choice, customer preferences, business module, what drives a business interest. Like, it's neither here nor there. I am a custom cake maker. I know it's a very niche skill, an advanced level skill to have, but I'm not precious about it. Like the whole conversation about pitching custom cake makers, we are our own worst enemies, right? Those of you who bake, like for those of you who are in the cake business, the business of cake making, and I'm not talking hobby baking. If you're just a hobby baking and you're not in the business of baking, sometimes you're not invested in the chatter. I will say this out loud. I kind of feel like cake makers, we are our own toxic enemies. Have you ever gone to a cake maker's comment section when they are talking about their own cake pricing? You will find cake makers, like we're talking people who are like 20, 25 years in business, in the comment section of a young up-and-coming baker and trying to tear them down over their pricing choices. I'm like, what is wrong with people? Common sense should tell you that people's cake prices are just their own. Unless they are specifically asking your opinion on the price, just let them be. If they want to sell a box of 10 cupcakes for £3, it's their problem. Like, I'm not going to lose sleep about that. And this argument about one cake maker pricing their cakes low and so it affects everybody. Yes, there's reason to it, but it's not true in the entire. Look, Louis Vuitton is still selling a damn little pen for £600, and people with so many zeros on their bank accounts are buying it. What am I saying? The point is, there will always be a customer for you if you chase them. Like, if you do the thing the customer wants, people will pay an arm and a leg for it. You just have to find your customer and serve them. So this whole idea of tearing each other down and being so toxic is just wild to me. Like, I'm not precious about it. Like, if people cannot afford me, I am not mad, and I don't make it a thing to kind of tear them down because, look, I cannot afford Christian Louboutins shoes in my life at the moment. There was a time in my life where forking £425 for a frigging pair of shoes was my thing. Not anymore. And now I look back at how dumb was that nonsense. I can't even wear the shoes. My knees hurt. My knees hurt. Okay. Last time I tried it, I stood on them shoes for 20 minutes. My ankles and my toes were on fire. But I'm just too chicken to kind of sell them off on eBay because they still come in their original box, the dust bag and everything. I am just too chicken to kind of give them away because I'm holding on to the sentiment of a time when I could afford stupid shoes. Okay, so what am I saying? The point is just let's be kind to each other, and let's tolerate the choices that are safe and convenient for all of us. Okay, today someone may not be able to afford a £300 cake. Does it mean you should shame them because of their choices? No. Maybe because they have other priorities. Maybe it's just a budgeting issue. Maybe it's a value thing. They probably don't value putting £300 into a cake. And that's okay. And so would you. You might not want to go and buy Christian Louboutins or Louis Vuitton things because maybe you can't afford it. Maybe it's a value thing. Maybe it's you being smart with your money. Are you too cheap to go shop in Primark? No, I love Primark knickers. Now there I go, down to the dark side. Let's just leave it. Now don't you go. Don't you go shouting about what I love about Primark, okay? I could tell you a thing or two about Primark. I like some things from Primark, but that's just by the way. So people, all I'm saying is let's just encourage each other, okay? And just be kind to each other because once upon a time, there was a day you couldn't afford a thing and you could have expected a bit of kindness. Carmelia, is it Camelia? Hello, welcome here. We are having a good time. Look, people, it's nearly 10 past 9 p.m. Wow. When did we start? We are nearly 2 hours in. I mean, we've been able to get the cake done, which means the cake can be collected in the morning and I can get on with my life. But Mayan, you have been my fairy godmother today, kind of like egging me along. And encouraging me to keep a straight head and straight along, people. Nick, it's late in Italy, isn't it? It's about 11 p.m. I imagine, isn't it? Right, my people, look. I didn't expect to be here this long, but thankfully we have managed to get our cake decorated and done, which is amazing. Okay. We start, oh, okay, lollipop. It's 3. Oh, so for my people in Texas, it is still like late afternoon getting to early evening for you. It's 9 p.m. over here, UK time. Lollipop, we started at 6:56. So even if we put the time to 7, we've been 2 hours, 7 minutes in. So it's almost 2 hours and 15 minutes, nearly 15 minutes already, and we've been chatting, okay? I think I got over my anxiety and decided to yap, and I've been yapping away, people. The struggle is so real. Lollipop, what are you doing for the rest of the evening? You know what I'm going to be doing? Is it still Friday? Happy Friday, people. I think this would have been good time to just sit down and kick back and have a drink. And then I'll fall over. People, let me just see. Okay, let me just see if I can make myself a cup of tea. Right. Happy Friday, people. What are you doing this Friday? Okay, me, it's I'm boiling myself a cup of I'm boiling myself a kettle. I'm gonna make a cup of tea, and once this live is over, you know what I'm going to be doing? Tidy up and then get myself organized for the night, because I have a long weekend ahead and I have some admin stuff to do, which I will be doing. Lollipop is going to be playing games because the baby is asleep. Oh, Lollipop, what are you playing? And Alyssa says, oh, I'm so excited to move into my new condo with a full kitchen. My apartment kitchen just isn't cutting. Alyssa, congratulations on your move, okay? I hope you will be making use of your kitchen when you move. So come back and tell us all about it. Congrats on that note, right? Happy Friday. Yep. Lollipop says drinking tea. It's quite late for coffee. Join me, let's drink tea. My English people in there. Dolly, what are you guys doing? I'm here going through my paperwork. Oh, Dolly. Dolly is out here doing the boring paperwork. I think we should... Mayan says she's doing nothing, but will let the kids drive her crazy. I mean, they don't need an invitation to drive you crazy. They will do that uninvited. The joys of parenting. Well, as I've been out here yapping, right next over the wall here, over the wall in the lounge, is my 8-year-old. Busy playing a game, and his daddy lying there on the sofa, and I am out here. Like, it's safe to say I live in the kitchen, and daddy lives in the bedroom, and boy lives in the lounge. Okay, but at least he was out on a summer club all day from 10 in the morning, so he's having his evening chilled. Okay, that's cheers to tea. For those of you who love tea, join us, make yourself a drink. I'm sure Dolly is over there doing the boring paperwork and being like, glad, please, I don't want tea, I want my jobs done. That's what I want to do. I love tea over here. If you didn't know, if it's the first time you're meeting me, I love tea. I don't drink. Oh, Mayan has a 15-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 5-year-old. Anyone with more than one child, hats off to you, because you are the MVPs of this world. And if you do make it to 3, God bless your heart. And God bless you for the wonderful work of motherhood. Because Dolly says, I know I have tea beside me, so you are not alone. Oh, you need tea to calm you down from the paperwork, isn't it? Lollipop says, mine is 12 and 3. That's it. I mean, the joy of Lollipop, your case is that the 12-year-old will help you with the 3-year-old, isn't it? My African toxic brain cannot get over the fact that when you have an adult child, they should help you with the younger ones. Mine says, thank you. It's tough. Last two are boys and I was not. Honey. You know what? Believe me when I say, anyone with more than one child, I want to give you a hug and make you a cake. And I mean that. I was talking to my sister yesterday, right? And my sister has, well, I'm surrounded, and we women, we are like our own worst critics. Like, you wonder if you're doing enough. You always are criticizing yourself, and there's this inner self-talk about what you should be doing and what you are not doing. Like, and I'm like, you birthed a whole human being not once, but twice and 3 times. Look, if there's a God adjacent, it's you people, okay? That's all. Good luck. I say a prayer for you. I just have the one. Being a parent is hard, okay? It is the hardest thing no one ever prepares you for. And I think the difficulty is it is cloaked in the sort of truth, which is true, that children are a blessing. And yes, they are. And so because they are a blessing, it's almost like society sort of makes you feel guilty. It invalidates the difficulty. Ever tried a job you don't have a manual for? Or never been to an induction and somehow you should be perfect at it? That's parenting. Nobody, like, the next person couldn't tell you how to parent your child, because your child is unique to you. Your circumstances are unique to you. So you are supposed to do this all by yourself, and yet you don't get to be given any sort of roadmap, and whether you're succeeding or failing, you're right knee deep into it, and it's, oh God, I could moan all day. Okay, if you're a mother and you have more than one kid, I want to give you a hug and make you cake and sit with you at the table and pick your brain and be like, what have you got going on there that I can learn from? That's all. Please, lollipop, don't let me lose my brain over here and get cancelled. No book is going to prepare you for parenting, okay? I'm just going to drink my tea and just go before I lose my head. If anybody came and said, read a parenting book, I will crash out. From all the hormone issues to the health issues, you will end up to the body image issues all these issues that you get from being pregnant with this supposed blessing. And I'm not negating the blessing, people. Hear me out. We're keeping it real here because we're women, and life happens, okay? Like, carrying a baby through 9 months and all the risks that could potentially come with it. And then you birth the baby and you can't sleep, and this little person is completely dependent on you. And yet it is under the most extraordinary circumstances, because imagine if you went to work for 10 hours, okay, and you came home and you said to your partner, I am tired, or any reasonable human being with empathy, and you said, I'm tired, what would they say? They would say, go to sleep. But when you birth a baby, the opposite is true. You can't sleep satisfactorily because this whole human being depends on you, and you have to provide for it, and you have to do all of these things, and somehow you have to know what the baby wants, even though the baby can't speak. Oh, my dear. And especially these days, look, let tell you before I get cancer, I'm Ghanaian. I don't know gentle parenting. Okay. That's all. It is a constant fight with my African genes to squat and talk so nicely to my 8-year-old when every cell in me is going, how dare you? Okay, I'ma just drink my tea and go away. Okay. Nick, you brought out 4 boys being firm. I love you for that. Whew. These people be out here talking gentle parenting and kids be out here crashing out in the shops and acting wild. And the parents are like, I don't know. You send that kid to my African mama. Okay, good luck. That's all. Dolly. Dolly, I nearly spat my tea out. Dolly says when I talk calm, they don't, they don't hear until I shout. Dolly, thank you. I mean, I don't feel alone out here in these streets. My dear, that's my struggle. You like, you say to kid, you like, kiddo, chop chop, put the socks on. And they're over there rolling on the floor. You're like, kid, I said socks on. Oh, don't be a grump. Why are you being mean to me? Are you serious, kiddo? I've been telling you for more than 20 minutes. I won't tell you what I do next after. What I do know is that eventually the socks gets put on and one of us is not happy and it's not me. That's all. I am so happy I don't feel alone out here and I have a community of people who can understand. Okay? Because you, my kids, you're on a bus acting nonsense. You won't be out here acting over there and holding me hostage. No, we are not about to live. Dolly says mine gets up at 6:30 for school, and by 8 they are not done, and their bus leaves it. Mine says I don't repeat too many times. What's the trick? If you don't repeat, what happens? What happens between the one time, the second time you say, and the final time it gets done? Oh God. I mean, if they were to put cameras in our parenting, right? I guess all of us will get cancelled. Because I have a feeling none of us is a gentle parent. Seasoning says, oh, leave them. Make them walk. And they better not be late. Well, this one, I have had him lose out on his screen time. And he values his screen time because he loves his games. And there is balance, if you like. but he gets proper upset when he loses his screen time. So sometimes that's simple. It's like, get it done before. Mariam says I have to do it 200 times before they will do something. No, I don't get to 200 times. If I get to 200 times, Mama will be out to I will be about crashing out, and no. But I have a threshold where I'm like, kid. And when my eyes are wide and my face looks like a monster, he gets it. But yeah, the truth is there's no right way or wrong way of doing things. As long as you are doing the best you can to just support your child to be in the world. Because sometimes the thing that... Okay. You know what? Some of us people who didn't have gentle parents, okay, we are still here and we survived and we made it. That's all. You wanna go? I mean, my mom is a better grandma than she was a mom, and that's not criticizing her. Okay, I love my mom, and my mom did the best she could by us, but she is a proper African woman. Better not go tell her that nonsense of whatever it is you're telling her about how a child has. No, not my mom. Wow, 2 boys and 2 girls. Nick, I just know them kids turned out just amazing. That's all. And you ain't gentle parenting. That's all. Oh God. Oh, my tummy hurts. You people have just made me laugh and laugh and laugh today. Seasoning says, it goes back to respect. A child should be told no more than twice. Oh. I think I need to... I'm guilty of going a little over the twice, but by the time I hit the 3rd mark, I'm crashing out. So maybe I need to be firm at my approach. Yep, the way I was raised. No, look, the way I was raised, you don't even get a chance. You get a look that says behave. Just a look. When my mom catches you with the corner of her eye, when she says, can you go and get ready for school? And she sorted your school uniform and everything. She's just told you in passing. She's like, your school uniforms are sorted. Can you go get them? And whatever she's doing, she comes down and you are not actively doing the thing she just told you. She just looks at you with just one look. And you know your life is about to change in a way you will not like. Yep. Dolly, our children here will never understand. Me, my kid, when I give him that look, he says, oh, change your face. And I'm looking at him like, dude, you better stop that nonsense. I just want the magic that my mama had to make things done by just looking at me. Them kids will never know. But that is, by the way, people, it is 9:30 nearly, okay? It's Friday. Let's call it a day. Dolly, go finish the paperwork. Nick and the rest of you, Nick, go enjoy the rest of your evening with, it's too late to eat. I know you are health conscious. You're probably not eating. Mine said, man, these kids have no they have no clue. They will never know. You know what? That in itself is a blessing. You know, the laughs we've had about how hard things were for us and how our children will never experience that in itself is a blessing. But there has to be balance. That's all. Lollipop. If there's one thing an African parent is not scared of, it's cracking the whip on your backside. Okay? And on that note, don't go crack a whip on your kids though. Don't, okay? Just let them while out a little bit because Auntie said so. All of you, our cake is done. Let's go and have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening, your day, whether it's morning, it's afternoon, it's night. And we'll be back here same time, perhaps on Tuesday. Okay? Have a good one, and thank you for all the love and helping me get through this cake. It's been amazing. There you go. There you go. Have a good one, people. Goodbye.